What's up, Daryl? We're waiting on Gabe to get in here. He should be coming here shortly. Let everybody else get packed in here. Let's see here. Mr. DJ, what's up, man? Waiting on the mailman again. Tom's in the house. Hoodie weather has arrived. That is no joke, man. That was a cold rain today. It's still raining. I ain't complaining either. We need it. Always waiting on the mail. You ain't a kidding, Steve. Hank Snow, what's up, man? Let's see here. Change this a little bit. Oklahoma's worst thinker. What's up, dude? Since you've been trying your multi-talents at hunting, I see. Oh, like I said, wait till I don't know where Gabe's at. He should be in here by now. He'll deliver. Got my shirts and stickers in about 3 days. Nice ones. Yeah, he's supposed to bring mine up tonight, but he's actually not coming up here this evening, so he's going to do it from his house. Just waiting for him to jump in here. Anders Homemade Crafts. Thanks for joining. I haven't seen you in here yet. Oh, let's see here. Oh, there come a bunch of them. David Wills. Hey, did you do any fishing this week? David, I did not. We did had a tournament down at Lake of the Ozarks 2 weekends ago. And boy, I tell you what, that was some tough fishing. It was brutal. Caught a lot of 14 and a half inch fish, but just could not get on keepers. And that was pretty much the going rate for just about anybody around there. Then he didn't have the pink ones. That's probably because Gabe's got enough pink shirts in his closet already. So, Larry Lee, what's going on, man? Let's see. Shoot, I got some time before work, so I had to pop in and say, what's up? I'm multitasking and saying hey to Gabe, too. There you go, man. I'll let him know as soon as he gets in here. No where he's at. He should be on here by now. Let me text him here, see what's going on. Let's see here. So where are you at? Oh, we'll get him going here. Same luck we had big bass bashing the Ozarks. Yeah, I talked to several people out there that fished that, and I heard there was a lot of good fish caught, but I guess it was the week after, the week after. I guess they had another tournament out there, a couple different tournaments, and I had heard everybody said that the fish just kind of started slacking off and weren't biting a whole lot. When we went, I think it was that Thursday was the night it dropped down to like in the 30s. I know we pulled up the ramp Friday morning, it was like 33 or 34. So it had a pretty significant drop in temperature. So I'm sure that had something to do with it. But to be honest, I mean, we caught a lot of fish, but just not good keepers at all. You just fish Friday, not a bite. Yeah, and I'd be honest with you, I think that the biggest issue around here and where I live in the Midwest here is we've gone so long without rain and everything's dropped down so low. And about a month ago, I guess, when we had Sean Hirsch on from IDNR, and he was explaining about winter drawdowns, and those bass wait for that because all the bait fish come down to that lower water level and they can't hide in the brush or the bushes or anything else, and they're all out there for the grabs. And I think that's kind of what's happening to our ponds and lakes and stuff too. It just, those fish are so full. The couple that I do catch, they're packing on some weight, so they're eating, but just can't really get them to bite anything. So has anybody else had any luck fishing this past couple weeks? I'll say pretty much everybody I talked to has had pretty rough luck. Let's see here. Oh, there's Gabe. Said he's trying to find the link. See if I can send it to him again here. Make sure you got it. There we go. All right. So sent that to him again. See if we can get him on here. Let's see here. Steve said I did good at St. Sandcrest Lake. Swim bait bite was on. Yeah, Steve, that's that's one of the few things I've been catching them on around here. It's been just a small swim bait, about a 2.5-inch swim bait. It's been wrecking them pretty good, but just can't. I mean, you catch one or two here or there, and that's about it. Yep, Oklahoma's worth saying. So check the link, Gabe. It's there. It better be there. I sent it twice now. Let's see. Then it says 2 Fridays ago, that big temperature drop. I got a 7-pounder early that morning, 28 degrees. Oh, look at this guy. And he's in the house.
What's up, folks?
We figured it was just typical, Gabe.
Technical glitch here. Yeah. Had to go find the password and then couldn't find the link, so I guess she sent it to me again. I was kind of in the middle of everything here.
Yeah, I sent it twice.
Trying to get this volume turned up a little bit here so I can hear you all. Okay, I think we're good now.
Yep, loud enough.
How's the audio out there in YouTube land?
I'll say I don't hear any difference on my end, but that doesn't mean nothing.
Okay, cool. I'm just now seeing all the comments.
Yeah. I don't think you've missed much yet so far. We're just kind of getting things rolling, letting everybody pile in here. Talking about how the fishing's so awesome right now and everybody's catching all these fish. And, well, Steve is.
Steve's been on them.
Yeah, he said he's on a little swim bait bite. So I told him that's kind of what I was catching him on here, a little 2.5-inch swim bait.
Where's Sandcrest at, Steve? Can't remember where you're at exactly. It's a new one.
Gabe's supporting a new shirt there.
Yeah.
There you go. They turned out good. I like those.
Yeah.
And you got it on the backside too? Yeah.
Yeah, there's the back.
Support local fish. That's awesome, dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think they turned out good. I'm happy with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody's interested in picking up one of these, get a hold of me on my Facebook page, and I will get you taken care of. I've got larges, extra large, and double X. I think I'm out of smalls, mediums, and I know I'm out of triple X. So that's what we got left. We got the gray, and then the gray is what I got on, obviously, and then this color is called Jade, and they both look really good. So
well, Denny wanted to know what the pink one was.
The pink one, yeah. That's on back order, man. On back order.
You got a back in your closet order.
Yeah. I did my time, man. I already did my time on that pink shirt stuff.
Yeah, Hank wants to know if you're chewing gum. Did you bring enough for everybody?
I got some gum, some bubble gum. I'm about out of gum. You know what? I'm going to rant here for a second. I shouldn't say hate, but I dislike when you have a certain product that you buy on a regular basis, and then all of a sudden you go to replace your stash and they don't sell it anymore. It drives me nuts. That's Walmart's typical. They do that at Walmart and they'll do that at Sam's Club. You know, been buying like this Hubba Bubba, like the regular Hubba Bubba, but it's in a small pieces for like 2 years. And then all of a sudden the last 3-4 times I went to Walmart, they don't carry it anymore. I don't know why. It had to be a good seller because it was gone almost every time I was, went in to get it. There was like 1 or 2 bags left. That's it. So I don't know if they, the virus got the Hubba Bubba folks in the warehouse, or I don't know, if there's like a shortage on gum. I don't know what's going on, but it's frustrating. So anyway, I got a halfway flavorful piece of gum in my mouth. I had to dig it up out of the old pair of pants up there.
Pull it out of the old pack of card.
Yeah. That pack of gum that's been sweated on. It's kind of halfway good.
Yeah. I think Glenn Floyd, he said been tough in most lakes around southern Missouri. What part of southern Missouri you at, Glenn?
Yeah, DJ, DJ got one of the last triple X's. I only ordered 3 triple X's and they were gone instantly. So got some healthy folks out there. We need to, next time I order some shirts, I'm gonna beef up the triple X's. I got some double X's left. I got plenty of extra large and plenty of large.
I'm just glad I can find the extra large.
Yeah, you'll be fine. They fit really good. They're soft. They're 50-50 blend. They're that dry blend. They're Gildan, low shrinkage, and they're nice. They're comfortable. They're a lighter weight shirt, which I like. You know, they're not real heavy, so you can wear them underneath something and not get, you know, too hot.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, Steve said he was just south of Springfield, Illinois.
Okay.
And Chris is at?
It's a power plant lake. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, David, I see one here. Yeah, just go to you can go to Gabe Montgomery Fishing on Facebook or Tin Horse Monty.
Description.
Okay, Tin Horse Monty on Facebook. We'll get you taken care of.
Yeah, everything's down in the description. You can find it's got links to everything.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I got a new frog rod, dude.
What?
Yeah, I got a new frog rod. I'll show it to you. See where it's at. I think I got it in here. Yeah, this sucker right here. So this is a 7'6" Lew's custom light, heavy, and it is the LCL FRH. So I think it's flipping rod heavy is what it stands for. But actually, it's not brand new. I had it for a while, but it was just sitting there, and I didn't really know how to work it into rotation. I bought it for I got a really good deal on it. But man, I tied this toad on there. Started throwing it earlier, the middle of last week, and this is the deal. I was missing a lot of frog. I was missing a lot of toad bites. I've been throwing that 7'4". It's the G-Force heavy, and it's got a lot of tip, which is nice for open water frog fishing, toad fishing, because you can kind of skip the toad. But I kept missing fish, man. They'd blow up on it and they'd get me down on the mat because I didn't have enough. I had too much tip. You know, it was just too much, and I couldn't get them out of the mat. But this sucker right here, this is the deal. When you jack them, man, they come out of the grass. It's nice. So I'm happy with that. I didn't miss hardly. I missed very few fish last time I was out fishing on the toad. So I'm really excited about that because that frog has got it's got that double hook on it, and the hooks are real beefy. I mean, they're thick hooks. So you got to have something to drive those.
Drive them, yeah.
Yeah. And those faster.
I'll say I got the lower end Lew's frog rod, that Mock series, and now I tell you what, it's a broomstick.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's strictly for fishing mats. I mean, you're gonna frog fish mats or you're gonna punch mats, and that's what I use it for. Mm-hmm. You can't open water fish it because it's way too stiff. You can't get it up underneath. You can't skip with it hardly at all. I mean, it's a beefy stick, but
yeah, this one you couldn't skip, but it does have a little bit of tip. And the nice thing about that is, whenever the frog stuff goes away, I'll be able to put an A-rig on that and just transfer right over to an A-rig. So because it's already got the 50-pound braid on it, so I won't have to change anything out. I'll just tie a different bait on there and get after it.
I finally made the change to the Power Pro.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Would you get just the original, or did you get the slick?
It's the power.
Is it the Max?
Myself.
Is the original, or
I don't remember now. I did go with the 65-pound.
65-pound.
Yeah, and I was pretty impressed with the way it threw. So.
Yeah, I like Power Pro. I mean, I know there's a lot of good braids out there. I wanted to try some of the Sunline braid. I think it's that FX2, but I haven't. I just
Mike throws.
Yeah, I think it's a 4-strand. I'm not 100% sure if it's a 4-strand or 8-strand. I've got some of the Power Pro Slick. I've used it before on the Slick 8. I've used it on spinning gear, and I didn't like it so much on spinning gear, but I was watching Mikey Ball's video a while back, and he was talking about, you get punching mats, you get that braid noise, seesawing through the grass, and that's because of the braid is kind of abrasive actually, and that super slick, it's got that slick coating, and it cuts down on the noise that you hear in the grass when you're punching. So I bought a spool of that about a month ago, but I haven't. The braid I got on there is just fine. I'm still catching fish on it. But when I do need to change, I'm going to go to that slick and see if it's a little bit more quiet. I don't know how much that matters. I mean, if you're in a really, a place like Gunnersville or Chick that's getting a lot of pressure, we get plenty of pressure around here, but they get more pressure down there, I would say. I mean, there's thousands of boats on that lake, Gunnersville or Chickamauga, almost every day, and a lot of people are targeting that grass. So I would say you can get used to hearing that braid.
Yeah.
Tom asked, am I hooking the toad on the cross bars of the reel seat? Yeah, you know what? I got it hooked like this. This is the one thing I don't like about these custom lights is they don't have a hook keeper on them. I mean, they've got, if you can see, if I can get this rod close enough, let me go this way with it. There's, in that reel seat on the trigger, there's a hole right there, and that's the hook keeper. I mean, that's what's designated as the hook keeper, But I don't like that because it seems like it always wants to poke me for some reason. So I've been kind of, I just put it around my reel handle a lot of times. A lot of times I'll just go like that, put it around my reel handle. The frogs are a little bit tougher, but you got like a Texas rig or something with a big hook.
See, I'll bring that frog actually down behind my reel, in between the reel and the tension knob.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty much how I hook just about everything. I put the whole frog back there. That way the hook's still in the frog.
Yeah, I typically go like that. So I've seen people do it like that too. I haven't got into the habit of doing that. You go over the top kind of, and then just let it hang down. Yeah.
Yeah, and just let it set right down between them, and then just turn your handle one little time, and then it sets in there tight. And then by the time you wrap your line around your rod twice, it's good. It never goes anywhere.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a lot easier. I like that. It makes sense. Braid.
And it's extremely quick too.
I like that. It's ready to go. You just pull it out. That makes sense. And that way you're not gonna scuff up the paddles on your reel either, because those the hook points start kind of chewing around on them. One of the frustrating things about braid, if you've ever been on a boat ride with braid, I don't care what reel you've got, that braid for some reason it always gets slack in it, like on a long ride. You notice that? It's amazing. I mean, you have everything strapped down nice and snug, and next thing you know, you got your braids wrapped around like your other rods up on the deck. It happens every time.
Never fails.
It's great. I don't get it. I mean, I've tied my drag down tight. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. We've got one heck of a question coming up here. So I seen where Hank said the Suffix 832 is pretty good. I'll agree with him there. It's pretty good. I like that line. Steve was asking about the slick part, but I guess you kind of hit on that a while ago about the slick coating. But yeah. I'm not even going to throw this up on the screen because we'll get people jumping all over. But Glenn said, curious if you guys have ever used the Guggen baits. If so, what's your thoughts on the quality?
I'll answer that. Yeah. I've used the Bandito bug because Greg had a lot of confidence in it. So I bought a pack of, I guess it's kind of an Okeechobee craw color, and man, they catch fish. They're soft, kind of fragile. You're typically going to get one fish out of them, especially if it's a smaller one and he gets to jumping around and carrying on. But they work. I mean, but that's the only one that I've checked out. As far as the hard baits and stuff, I haven't played around with them. It's just been the Bandito bug. So, Greg, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'll agree 100% with what Gabe said on the Bandito bug. Pretty much any of their soft plastics are extremely soft, but they absolutely catch fish, guaranteed on that. But as far as the hard baits go, I've thrown, I don't remember the name of the crankbait. It was a 12 to 15 foot crankbait. It had a good weight transferring system in it. It worked great. I caught a couple fish here and there. Didn't have any problems really, nothing with it. The one thing I did notice the big difference on was their square bill, which they call it something else. It's I can't even think the name of it, but anyway, the square bill I did notice. It had a very, very fast rise in it. So if you were going to fish like 1 to 2 foot water, it was great. But if you were looking for that 3 to 4 foot range, maybe 5 foot, which a lot of people look for in that square bill, it wasn't happening for that. But other than that, I mean, they work fine. I didn't have any problems out of them. But
yeah. So you think that would be a good square bill for bank fishing or pond fishing because it rises up faster?
yeah. Yeah, and then that was kind of my point when I did the video on them. That was the thing. You could fish a pretty shallow place with it, like your pond and stuff like that. For a bank fisherman, that's where it really shined for you because you can't get out to that deeper water and throw it to the bank and bring it back to you. But you could kind of go parallel with the bank and really keep it right in that strike zone pretty decent. So, and if you got a log was coming up or something like that, I mean, you stop that reel, and I mean, it literally just goes like this. And just comes right up. So it's very buoyant. So, but yeah, I mean, every bait's got its place.
I've had the trench hog in my hands, and I've had that. What is it though? Lunker log. I guess is their Cinco kind of. Mm-hmm. But I just haven't bought them. Steve says he's done good on the Guggen Ned rig. It has a rattle built in and just flat out catches fish. But it does. Mondo worm. Glenn's a fan of the Mondo worm, 10-inch Mondo worm. It might be something I like those big worms. I might have to check those out. I'm just the old monster is just my go-to on big worm.
In mine too. And I think the plastic being that heavier plastic, a little bit stronger plastic, those big worms in the summer, you get them bigger fish and boy, they're aggressive. And it's nothing to go through, a zoom every 2 fish, 3 fish, but with the plastics that they use. And I know I've heard several other people talking about they're looking into their plastics and trying to get them stronger. But until they do, I think that's what hurts them the most is their baits are just too soft. But I mean, they catch fish. So
yeah, you gotta have a compromise between soft bait. Well, I mean action, because the soft plastic is going to have more action, obviously, and then durability. It's kind of it's a compromise. You got to give up a little bit of one to get the other, and somewhere in the middle is, my opinion, where you want to be. Like the Cinco, they're like a one fish bait. They're just super fragile, but gosh, you can't argue with the Cinco. They just catch fish, but they're almost $1 a piece, so that can get expensive. You go through 2 or 3 or 4 packs. I mean, if you're in a tournament or if you're just got some money on the line, then heck yeah. What's 10 more bucks in the pot? But I use the big bite baits, and then I use the Yum Dinger. They're a little bit more durable and they're definitely more affordable.
Yeah, the Yum Dinger.
Yeah, that's a good bait. It's got less salt in it, so it falls a little bit slower.
Yep.
It holds up really, really well.
Yeah.
Another bait, talking about a bigger worm, that I think there's a Strike King makes a cutter worm. That's like an 8-inch cutter worm. That's a nice, big profile worm. It's got that little flap. It's got a different action than that ribbon tail. Yeah. Sometimes that's good on a shaky head, on a big shaky head, stand up head. It works really good.
Yep, seen White Whale there. What's up, man?
What's up, White Whale? Greg asks, how much do you guys use electronics in fishing smaller lakes? Anytime I go to a lake, except for Duck Creek, which is a really, really shallow lake. But other than that, I'll always have my electronics on my boat. And even then, if I don't plan on doing any graphing off the rear of the boat, I'll still typically use that front graph for water temperature. And I'm just generally curious how deep I'm fishing. If I know it's getting really, really shallow, I know it's time to pay attention to my trolling motor, be looking around. But yeah, I always got my electronics on.
Yeah, I would say for the most part, the smaller lakes, I usually try to, if it's a lake I know pretty well, I'll keep it on for looking for, bait schools and stuff like that. But as far as like trying to map something or find different stuff, I mean, most of the smaller lakes I fish, I kind of know where stuff is. So I don't use them as often because I don't want that extra sound in there. But if it's a newer lake, absolutely I'll have it on.
Yeah. Yeah. And that you mentioned sound. That's another thing I always do for a couple of reasons is after I pulled into my spot and I'm getting ready to go up to the front of the boat, I always put my back graph on standby. A couple of reasons. It reserves the power in your boat. You're not getting that draw because the main draw off those graphs is the LED light, that backlight. That's what really sucks the juice. And then you also eliminate your sound from the sonar pings from your transducer by putting that bait on that graph on standby. And you'll get cross interference too. If you've got the graph on the front, sometimes we'll pick up the pings from the graph on the back and you'll get those little lines in there. A lot of times that's just frequency clutter and stuff. So you'll get a lot clearer picture if you put that back graph on standby. But mainly I want to be a little bit more stealthy. And a lot of times if I know I'm going to be fishing shallow, if I'm going down a grass line or, punching grass, or if I'm flipping wood up tight, not so much if I'm casting, away from the boat, I don't worry about it. But if I'm flipping and pitching really, really tight to cover, I'll turn that front graph off too. Because, you don't really need it. And if I'm curious, if I'm not getting some bites and I want to pull back out off the graph line and see if those fish have slid off to the outside of that grass or just out underneath the boat a little bit, then I'll just, hit power and turn it right back on. Actually, I'll just have it on standby and I'll just open back up, put it back on. It just takes a second.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to answer white whale. I did throw that bait a little bit into the grass. The one thing that I had to say about that prawn is I like the overall design of that bait, especially moving more water. I think around docks, on the outside of the grass line, stuff like that, I think it's perfect. As far as pitching into grass and stuff, I ended up having to go to a 1 ounce before I was actually going through the grass really good and smooth, because it was with the lighter bait or with the lighter weight, it was actually going through it and grabbing, and I could watch it sitting there kind of teeter-tottering back and down through the grass. So I would say with a little bit heavier weight, it was great. But other than that, I would say for Texas rig around docks, grass lines, lay down, stuff like that, I think it works even better. But
yeah,
that's my opinion.
Well, I'll be honest, man. I've had it out and I haven't actually punched with it yet. I get hung up. I've been flipping beaver and the Gambler burner crawl.
I'll say you still doing the BFE?
Yeah, and I've got that in the mix. That's been kind of my 3 rotations of punching because I do want to throw it. It looks great. But I can see what you're saying, Greg. It's a fatter bait. Seems like it's got a bigger profile, so I can see where you need just a little bit more weight to get it to go down in that grass.
Yeah.
They look awesome though. They look really, really good. I don't know how was the plastic on it? Did it didn't tear up or anything?
No, I didn't have any problems with that. I caught 2 little fish on it. Nothing big. I think the biggest one was maybe about 14.5 inches. But other than that, I didn't catch a whole lot. So it was kind of a dead day anyway, but
yeah. So Steve's asking, what about the electronic noisemakers that mimic the bait fish? Have you heard of them or used them? The hydro waves?
yeah.
I don't have them on my boat, but my buddy Mike Marfell that I fish with several times a year has always had the hydro waves. And there are times when it does seems to make a difference. I know the turtles are really curious. We've had just be out there fishing and all of a sudden the turtles will, you see turtles kind of swimming towards his trolling motor and they'll get right up there and they'll kind of look down, they'll swim down. They're hearing that noise, they're picking up that frequency and they're real curious about that noise. So it's definitely something that, the wildlife are used to hearing. But I've heard, when you're out on the ledge, sometimes that'll get the bait fish fired up and get the bass fired up and stuff. But I don't know. I've heard it both ways. I've heard people swear by them, and
yeah, Scott Martin swears by them, but he promotes it too. So
right, exactly. So I don't know. It's just another tool. I'm sure it has its time and place. I know you do want to have it intermittent. You don't want to have it going all the time. You want it to fire for a little bit and then you want it to rest for, I don't know what kind of, it's got an automatic timer on it. You can set it for however how often you want it to kick on. But I do know that you don't want it going all the time. You want it to just go for a little bit and then stop for 5 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever it is. So just another expensive gadget, but you never know. It may give you an edge. It may help you catch a couple more fish.
Yep, seen Full Armor Bassins in here. How's it going, man?
Oh, Full Armor Bassin. We were talking about Guggen baits. And probably one of the first videos I saw of Full Armor Bassin was when he was doing a trench hog. So he's very familiar with the Guggen plastics.
He's always up there tearing up the snakeheads.
Yeah, and some catfish, man. He's been catching some catfish lately. So Tony's been doing a great job. If you guys haven't checked out Full Armor Bassin, go check it out. His son Tony's been killing it on the editing. He's getting really, really good at it. He's got it dialed in.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, it's kind of cinematic, and he almost caught his PB the other day again, or was it his PB? I can't remember, but it's a nice bass. Mike, yeah, I went to Randolph County. I got a video coming out. I just finished it last night, so it'll be coming out next week. Wednesday, I got a crab orchard video. I've been to crab orchard like 3 times in the last 20 years. But I keep wanting to go over there and try to learn it. I need to have Greg take me over there because he knows it a little bit better than I do.
I thought you said you wanted to learn it.
I want to. Misery loves company, man. No, I caught a few fish. The catch of the day was like a 10-pound carp on a square bill. Actually,
that's a good fight.
He absolutely smashed the square bill. That was a lot of fun. So I caught a few fish, and then Friday I got a killer video coming out. I wrecked him over there at Kincaid in the grass. Had an epic day over there, so that's going to be coming out Friday. But then the Randolph County will be coming out, I guess next Wednesday or something like that. Or yeah, next Wednesday. But I caught a few fish. It's a cool lake. It reminds me of Lake Tawapati down there in Chaffee. It's kind of, guys from Southeast Missouri that are on here, if there is anybody on here from Southeast Missouri, would know what I'm talking about. It's got that kind of muck bottom. There's not a lot. I spent a lot of time trying to find hard bottom, and I found one little point that had some rock on it. And it was just a little stretch of bank, and I caught two of the fish that I caught that day came from that little section. But it's mostly like that muck bottom. You've got the willow, the willow grass or the willow reeds or whatever you want to call it, and some laydowns and stuff. But it's got deep water, and there were trout in there too. Because apparently they stopped trout in there in the fall. Mm-hmm. So I had a little experience with the trout. You guys, I don't want to give it away, but something kind of funny happened. Yeah, but it's a cool lake, man.
We'll have to go over and fish it sometime. There's a good solid point over I can show you that's got a lot of rock on it too. I've done pretty good there.
I'm wondering if it's the same point I found. I bet it is.
It probably is. You can go out a little bit pretty deep. It's about 20, 25 foot of water out there where you're sitting.
Okay.
So
yeah, it is a decent lake. It was down just a little bit, so a lot of that willow grass was in about a foot of water probably.
Yeah.
Maybe a foot and a half. I could see if it was up another foot or so, where that willow grass would probably come into play a little more. Like I was thinking like a swim jig or something, throwing like that Cumberland Pro compact swim jig through there. I could see that firing really good. But it was mainly just kind of a lay down deal from what I found.
So you were talking about that square bill carp while ago. When I was down Lake of the Ozarks, I was fishing. And like I said, the bite down there it really didn't matter what you threw. You caught fish. I mean, I threw anything from a 6XD to a Texas rig to Alabama rig. I caught a lot of fish on a jerk bait. Just all different kinds of stuff. Like I said, it didn't matter what you threw, and you were catching fish. Well, I got into one spot where this dock that was there, I knew it had brush piles on it. I fish them all the time. I usually catch some pretty decent fish off these brush piles, but they're really hard to get to. And if you can't backhand skip a jig or anything, you're not going to get to them. So I'm back behind this dock, and I flip it up underneath there. It goes about 12 to 15 foot up underneath there. And all of a sudden my line just hammered down. I mean, just jolted. I'm like, oh, here we go. And I set back into it, and that thing took off. And I mean, it was pulling line. Well, Mike Radicke, he was about 2.5 docks down from me. And I was waiting for him to look over. I was like, oh, I'm going to show him this one, That thing kept fighting and fighting and fighting. Come up, it was about a 6-pound drum.
Oh,
I was like, oh man. But yeah, it's those drum. I hate them things. They feel like a bass so bad right off the bat, and they'll even do that little head shake. But it's hard to tell sometimes.
yeah, and they thump. I mean, they'll hammer a jig or a crankbait. It's a real hard, just bam. They don't mess around. They crush it. So we got Sean in here. What's up, Sean? Blummer Besson said he caught his PB blue catfish tonight. Cool, man. I'm looking forward to that picture. I'm sure you guys got some video of that. That'd be good. It's cool you're getting into the catfish. And me and Greg live real close to the Mississippi River, and it's notorious for having really big blue cats. Biggest blue cat I've probably caught is in that 30-pound range, but it's not uncommon for people to catch 60, 70-pound blues out there in the Mississippi River. And right now it gets really good, and all through the winter, even when that water's down in the low 40s and the high 30s, if you know where to go, there's kind of a wintering hose where those big blue cats will sit and the little current breaks and stuff, and you can catch some really, really big fish doing that. But
yeah, we used to have that on our live stream. I'm trying to think of his name, but he was a big catfisher, and I think he lives in St. John, but he does guides and stuff on the river. But I mean, they've got some big boats too. They take out. I mean, that one's like a cabin cruiser. It's huge.
Yeah,
what his name is though.
Yeah, they have like a lot of those guys have 22-foot aluminum boats that are, they'll have like a 90-inch beam, 96-inch beam in the back, real deep, just a real big, massive boat. And then they got it all decked out. It's much, like bass fishermen are notorious for spending money on gadgets and stuff. Cat fishermen are the same way.
And you can tell a cat fisherman from a mile away because you'll see LED lights everywhere.
Right. And they'll have a huge live well. They'll have a live well that can fit a, 5-6 foot fish in there. Because you catch an 89, 90-pound, catfish, you better have a big live well to keep that sucker alive.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how Denny just put on there. So last fall at the Big Bass Bash, he caught a drum on his Zoom Super Hog sea rigging. He just thought I had $100,000 bass. Nope. I know the feeling, man.
Yeah, that happens with a flathead for me. I think we've talked about this, but there's been several tournaments when I bow up on a fish and it's a big flathead, just a 7, 8, 12-pound flathead, and it's usually on a dig or on something on the bottom, and they just hammer it. You think you've got what you're looking for about 10 seconds until you realize what you got.
Yeah, they'll definitely make a day interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, those are one of the best eating catfish too.
Yeah,
a lot of guys don't.
Kincaid has got a bunch of them in it now for some reason. I don't know why. And even Sean Hirsch, when we had him on here, he didn't know why either though. What do you say? Right. Back in the 80s or something?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what he said, but Cedar's got them in there too, man. They're definitely in there. They're a really cool fish.
Ryan, no, I don't know if that's his name. If you said his name, I'd know it, but it wasn't Ryan Casey. Bubbaville Basson's in here. What's up, man? Hey, congratulations on your hitting 1,000 subscribers too.
Yeah, what's up, Chris? Good deal. Yeah, there's a couple guys in the Cape area that have the big catfish boats. I used to fish catfish tournaments. I had a buddy, Tom Roki. He lives up in I think he moved up to the Farmington area, and we used to go out and fish these catfish tournaments out of Thebes across the bridge over here. They just have, I think they were just Friday nighters or something. It might have been Saturday mornings. I can't remember. It's been a while ago, but we fished probably 2 seasons of those, won a little money, but we just fished Sonny's stick bait. You just put it on there's a plastic worm. It's a kind of about as big around as a Cinco. It's kind of ribbed, and it had line going through the middle of it and a treble hook on the back side of it. And you just have that plastic dip bait in there. And that's what we did, man. But you could still catch. You really wouldn't catch anything over like 15 pounds. So if somebody brought in a mega sack, you weren't even gonna sniff a check. But a lot of times, if you just catch, it was 5 fish. If you just caught like a couple tins and an 8 or 2, and then you had like a 15, you'd have enough weight to get like 3rd or 4th place. And then there's, the guys that are really into it. Of course, they're like skipjack herring and fresh shad and Asian carp. That's a really good bait right now. Ever since the carp have gotten in all these river systems, the game fish feed on those things. So you can if you ever catch a silver carp or a big-eyed carp, you can slice that sucker up and use it for cut bait. And that's one of the best baits that you can use for catching big catfish. But fun time.
Yeah, but like how Dave, he said a flathead and crushed the tubes on out on Erie. Said dreams are crushed when the 15-pounder Mr. Whisker.
Yeah, no doubt. And then you got to cut your bait off because you got your lines all slimed up. Like you got 5 foot of slimy line. It stinks, and then you get them in the boat, man. It can get nasty quick too.
I still say I'll take a catfish in my boat any day over a muskie. Those are just hot rockets, man. Those things are terrible. You can't get it out of your carpet.
Yeah. Those Asian carp are really bad too. I've heard. I won't let one of those on my boat. I'll stab it with my pocket knife.
Some days you don't have a choice when you're running that motor, though. Just put your helmet on and enjoy the ride if you can.
Yeah, Bubbaville gave us a shout out in the last video. I appreciate that, man. Gary's on here. What's up, Gary? Good to see you on here. For some of the guys that are just not getting on here, I'll say it again. I got some Tin Horse Monty t-shirts. I've got large, extra large, XX. I've got the gray, and then I've got this color, which is called Jade. And then this is what it looks like on the back. It says support local fishing. So if anybody's interested in one of these t-shirts,
hey,
you can get a hold of me.
Bank account number down at the bottom too?
No, you can get a hold of me on Gabe Montgomery Fishing or Tin Horse Monty Fishing or Tin Horse Monty 6 on Instagram, and we'll get you taken care of. What's up, Bill? Where else did I go? I went I fished Pyramid. They're closing that up like for waterfowl season or hunting season at the end of this month. And then I don't think it opens back up till March 1st. And if you guys don't know where Pyramid's at, it's over in Pinckneyville, Illinois, and it's strip pits. There's about 50 lakes over there. Some of them are, 1/3 of an acre, just puddles of water, and then some of them are quite a bit bigger. I think Super Lake, which is about 250 acres. That's the lake I went to. I just had a couple hours and I went over there. Caught a few fish, but that lake, man, it really, if you're gonna go over there, I haven't been over there a lot of times, but it's really tough in the middle of the day. Of course, this was a bluebird sky and, post frontal and all that stuff. So I haven't been over there on an ideal day, like overcast with a little bit of rain to see if there is a bite in the middle of the day, which I imagine there probably is. But the times I've been over there have been tougher days, but they really feed right there at, the last hour of the day. So if you guys are ever thinking about going over there on that kind of day, I would make it an evening trip. Don't waste your time. Go really early for a couple hours and then go really late, because I fished through that midday period over there, and the water is so clear, especially on the Super Lake. It's like 6, 7, 8 foot visibility. It's really, really clear, and there's a little bit of grass in some of the lakes over there, but you're basically just structure fishing. So you're just looking for little rocks, little like rock veins, because it's got that kind of, I don't know if it's like sandy, it's not muddy bottom, but it's kind of like the leftover sediment from the mining stuff that just kind of silt. But if you can find some rock, like little rock veins and stuff, that's typically, it seems like that's where you're going to get your bites at. And they come out, they come out to, I don't know, 15, 16, 17, and it seems like they drop off to like 30, and then they'll come out again, depending on how deep the lake is. So there's several little ledges, and there's flats too. Though it's funny, you run down the lake and you see like the peaks and the valleys from where they've dredged across it. And that dredge just went down really, really deep. So you'll be running in like 70 foot, and then all of a sudden it'll slowly start coming up to like 15 foot. And it's kind of scary because you think you're getting ready to, bottom out. You kind of get off the motor a little bit, and then it'll just start going back down. Next thing you know, you're in 60, 70 foot of water. So there's all these like up and down ridges and stuff. That's kind of down the middle. And then you've got the natural, this coming in from the banks. So it's kind of cool. It'd be a great place to learn how to fish offshore, like humps and drops and ledges and stuff like that. But it's closing up like the end of this month. So if you guys are wanting to go check it out, you got a couple days.
Seen Hellabass made it in here. It's good to see you guys are social distancing tonight.
Yeah. I was gonna wear a mask anyway, but I shaved, so I'm good.
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to touch base on tonight was rising water, because here in the Midwest we've gone so long without rain. It's just pathetic, and everything's so low. Now we're finally getting water. Does anybody have any questions about rising water and getting bit in that? Because it should improve quite a bit. So
I'll tell you what, this ain't rising water, but it's water quality. We just got our water softener back, and it's good stuff, man. Soft water is legit.
You back to soft skin now?
Dude, I love it, man. The hard water is horrible. It tears up everything, your clothes. So now I can just go up and right out of the faucet, give me a nice juicy glass of water. It's awesome. So anyway, sidetrack, but we're talking water.
Hey, Whitewell, now that I see you're still on here, I got to ask you. We went to visit some friends in Cordon, Indiana this past weekend. And there is a place off of 64 about probably maybe 30, 45 minutes before we get to Cordon. It's got all kinds of lakes on the side of the interstate. Do you have any idea what that is? They look like mining, like kind of like what Gabe fishes over there, the Pyramid Lakes, but didn't know if you knew anything about them.
Where was that at?
It's on the way to or just say Louisville.
Okay.
It's about 45 minutes to an hour away from Louisville before you get there on 64. It's got a bunch of just small like lakes that come off the interstate right there.
Huh. I want to go check out that one up there in New Athens too. They got a strip pit up there. Have you ever been to that one? It's up by it's a little bit north of the Kaskaskia, I think, or maybe it's just south of Kaskaskia.
I've been up there.
Yeah, it's some strip pits. I was thinking about going up there the other day, but haven't made it up there yet. It's hard to find any information on any of that stuff on Google. You can't really. Well, when Sean was on there, remember how he talked about they have trouble doing any kind of shocking surveys on there because of the water. Whatever's in the water, it doesn't. It's not conducive to electroshocking. It just doesn't transfer that pulse to the fish. So it's kind of like it's basically word of mouth, and there's really nothing on the internet about it, which is kind of why I decided to kind of go up there and do a few videos. So at least there's something on there. Get a look at the place.
Well,
so yeah,
I see Whitewell's no help to me. He said it's 3 or 4 hours away from him. I don't buy that.
Okay. No, it's not a pink mask either. And yes, Hellabass, my goatee is rather soft at the moment. It feels good. It's a happy goatee. Peabody, that's right, Tom. Yep. I think you're the one that told me about that. Peabody Wildlife Area is what it's called, Greg. You can check it out. It looks like they got plenty of water up there to fish. I saw one boat ramp, but it's a long strip with some cuts and little canals and stuff. It looks pretty fun.
Yeah, T. Harris said it was fish like the when it opened. He said similar to the Pyramid, just on a smaller scale.
Yeah, Hellabass, you dropped some money, man, Mr. Baitman. I don't know if you saw the live stream the other night. Hellabass had Baitman on there, and he was just picking stuff out on Tackle Warehouse for the upcoming Pickwick trip that Hellabass has. So Rich is going down to Pickwick to fish I guess it's the national championship. I'm not really sure. You could probably tell us, but anyway, he had a shopping cart open on Tackle Warehouse, and they were just pumping stuff in there. I hate to see what the bill was, but yep. I told him he's just going to fish a jig anyway. Doesn't matter. Why buy all those crankbaits?
Yeah. Outdoor Addiction said, are you all seeing any topwater actions lately? Like I said, the frogs have been good in the grass, but other than that, I'll be honest, I haven't seen. I mean, this time of year is one of my favorite times of year to throw a spook. And I haven't, to be honest, I haven't seen much action on it yet. And I don't know if it's because of us not having rain around here and everything being low. But even in the bait schools, I'll get hit a little bit every once in a while, but not big time like I should be. What have you been seeing, Gabe?
Well, I've been catching some on the toad and some on the frog. I tell you what's been happening a lot, and this happens the more pressure the grass gets, is I've been seeing a lot of those bass just come up through the grass with their mouth closed and just bump that frog. They're not blowing up on it. They're just hitting it, knocking it out of the way. And that's happened. That happened in a recent tournament, and it's tough to see a big old 5-pounder's head come out and just nose punt your frog. It's frustrating, but yeah, it's going on. It's going on right now. Kincaid, Cedar, those grass lakes over there in southern Illinois. There's definitely a frog bite. The water temps at Cedar recently were 62 degrees, so that's getting prime for that grass bite. That bait's in the grass a little bit. There's still off the grass bite going on. There's still some deep stuff going on, which there's always going to be a little mix of everything. But as far as a spook and stuff like that, I haven't got on a spook bite, but I've been focusing on the grass. The last couple of times I went out fishing, I went over there with the intentions of punching grass and throwing a frog. This is the time of year that I've been kind of waiting for this all summer, and I'm going to be focusing on that until it goes away. And then by the time it goes away, the spook bite and all that'll be over with, the buzzbait bite.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're looking up right now for sure. It's a shad deal right now. They're definitely looking up.
Now,
so I'm sure any lake you're on, you can definitely want that walking topwater in your hand, little salmon, little spook, little whatever your favorite walking bait is, buzz bait.
I can definitely tell you, if you were fishing for white bass down in those Ozarks 2 weeks ago, holy cow! I could have busted. Oh my God, I could. That's probably the biggest bait school busting show I've ever seen in my life. Huh. I mean, it was probably 50, 60 foot wide all the way around. I mean, there was probably 50 fish out of the water at one time, all the time. It was just nuts. Went on for like 45 seconds. I mean,
just boiling? Were they just boiling?
Well, they're coming out of the water. Huh. I mean, just back and forth and everything. If your boat would have been sitting in the middle of it, you would have had a boat full of white bass. It was nuts. I've never seen them that aggressive.
Huh. Yeah, that's fun. That happened. I remember that happened several times on a Kentucky lake where they'd come up and just boil. I mean, it's just a boil. It looks like the kind of, I don't know, when you got redfish running those mullet or whatever they do out there in the ocean. Mm-hmm. You'll see just a boil of stuff. You can't really pick out what's going on. Just craziness. It's like a nature scene. Bill says the big lake there is called Beaver Lake, and it's a 99 horsepower limit. They have some healthy bass in that lake. Back to Pyramid we were talking about. That's a no horsepower restriction. It's a no wake only. So you guys that have bigger boats, you can go there and put in. You just got to idle around, and that's even for like in my 99, I still have to idle around.
Yeah, outdoor addictions. Yeah, we're both Southeast Missouri too, and like I said, he's getting them in the grass. I'm more of an open water type of guy, trying to get that bite, and I haven't been doing so great with it. I can tell you.
Okay, Jay says there's the two biggest lakes are 100 acres up there. We're talking about Peabody. What's that called? The King River, Peabody, something up there in New Athens.
Yeah, they just said go.
Eagle and Beaver Lakes, and then
River King.
That's right. So Hello Bass is doing the Bass Nation National Championship, which is cool, man. I hope you smash them, dude. I hope you smash them. I think you'll find them, man. You're fishing good. You're doing really good. You can watch my video and it'll show you what not to do. But at the same time, that was a lot tougher. I think you're going to get there at a better time. So I think you'll be fine. I definitely have a big rattle trap too, or a big whatever your lipless bait of choice is. The LV 75 or 100 or whatever. I don't fish a lot of lipless. I need to though. That's one thing I do, and then I get away from it because they sure do catch a lot of fish. I always lean towards like a chatterbait or a spinnerbait when I'm doing that same kind of stuff.
I'm trying to find that little deal I was telling him about, but I don't see it on there now. Oh, there! Holy cow! Yeah, Whitewell. If you zoom in, there is. Wow, I didn't realize there was this many of them. Holy cow!
Yeah, DJ said Are you looking at New Athens?
Well, I don't know if you can see this. It's just on the side of 64 here.
Okay, you're talking about. Okay. Geez, yeah, that's plenty of water. That looks like Minnesota.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Like I said, I mean, I was looking at it from the interstate, driving to the interstate, and I was like, holy cow, that spot looks pretty juicy. But
it's a good place to get a flat tire.
Yeah, that's why there's sign that says no parking, no stopping, no standing.
Yeah, if you got your Scott Martin travel rod in your trunk.
Oh, what is it, the pocket?
Yeah, it's Pocket Rocket or something. I don't know what it was. That's about the time I quit watching him.
Pocket Rocket,
but yeah, he started selling like men's aftershave and stuff. I just kind of quit watching him.
Tom said the biggest bait spool I ever saw was a Kentucky lake, probably 60 feet wide and a quarter-mile long. Holy cow!
Jeez. Yeah, I'm not surprised. DJ said 2 Fridays ago they were eating the topwater buzzbait KVD splash and the Chapo. Past week, nothing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've dealt with too. It's really, it seems like the fish, if they're on, they're on. And there is no mediocre right now. It's just if they're on, they're on. If they're not, there's nothing.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think a lot of it's going to change this week with all this rain moving through. I think we get water levels back up where they're supposed to be. I have a feeling that it's really going to cool that water down too. I noticed that Lake of the Ozarks, it was still 76 degrees.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was anywhere from about 74 to 76. So
that's a lot warmer than I thought it would be.
I didn't think it'd be that warm either, but.
Well, we've had, let's see, we had Friday was cloudy, Saturday, Sunday, today's Monday is cloudy, and the temps Saturday, Sunday, Monday were in the like low 50s for the highs. So yeah, that water temperature is definitely going to be dropping pretty quick. I hope it doesn't drop too fast. That shuts them off too.
Yeah.
You get a 10-degree temperature swing either way. It's not good. It freaks them out for a couple of days. You get really, really tough.
Well, and like I said, with the rain today, it's a cold rain. I think I had 39 or 40 on the truck coming home. And
yeah.
I mean, that's a cold, cold rain right there. It's really you're going to get your water levels back up, but it's going to, like you just said, I think it's going to shut them down for probably a week.
Yeah, that water will flip too. If you haven't had the turnover yet. And if it's going to turn over, that cold rain will make it happen fast.
Yeah.
And that can get funky too. A lot of times those fish will push really, really shallow. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they bought a little thermostat. It was kind of a cheap one that's got the LCD readout, and it's got a little 20-foot drop on there. And he just put I think he put like a 1 ounce weight on there, and the sensor, you drop it down. He said I think he was at Lake of the Ozarks actually. He said it was like 5 or 6 degrees warmer, 10 feet underneath the boat. So that's interesting too. So that's going to amplify that top level cooling down and then becoming more dense and heavier. And it's just going to cause it to flip over. And that's where you get your turnover.
The one pattern that I kind of figured out down there when I was at Lake of the Ozarks was, they weren't around the back side of the docks on the pilings or anything like that. It was just the front side and that deeper part. And that would probably be why. It's a little bit warmer. It's deeper out there.
Mm-hmm.
But remind me when you come up next time, tell you about the story about when I got caught trying to go to the bathroom off the boat. Not a good deal at all.
That is the bad thing about it, fishing a lake with docks. Lake of Egypt's like that too. I'm always nervous when
I tell you, I looked around. I didn't see nobody nowhere. I mean, I was on the last 2 docks of this cove going out.
That was a scarecrow.
And I just fished behind it, and I come out, and there was nobody. You couldn't see through the dock to see the house. And I got on the outside, and I thought, there's nothing behind me. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go right here. And about the time I got everything ready, I hear a female voice from up top. She was on top of the dock, one of those second levels up there where they lay out, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was up there. So it wasn't good.
It was a he?
No.
Oh, she have a bikini on?
No. She was up there. I guess I don't know. She had a broom in her hands. I guess I don't know if she was taking flight or cleaning. I don't know.
Funny. Yeah, it happens, man. It happens. I got a guy told me years ago. He said, can you see a doorknob at 200 yards? And I
Yeah,
was like, no. He said, well, you ain't got nothing to worry about then.
yeah.
So just do what you got to do. Yeah, hella bass. It was depressing. It was fun though, man. That he's talking about that Toyota owners tournament, and that's a fun time. Anybody ever has a chance to go down there and do it, go down there and do it. It's a good time, whether you catch them or not.
Whitewell, yeah, I guess that's what it is. I'm looking at it. There was a bunch of them on there. So may have to go on a hiking trail there somewhere, go fishing. Let's see here. Thompson,
Outdoor.
do what? Go
I
ahead.
was to say outdoor addiction right here. He's on the Mississippi River, and some of the ditches running into it, and the water is usually in the 60s year round. Now it's already getting into the 50s with all the rain, so he's afraid the topwater bite is done.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't checked the temperature in the pond here lately, but I'd be willing to bet it's after this rain. I bet it's down. I'd be willing to bet the low 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Every bit of it. It might
Well,
be past that. Who knows?
I was catching some crappie on the pond behind my house yesterday, and it was a cold day yesterday. And when I would throw them back and kind of wash my hands in the water was a lot warmer than the actual air temperature. It felt pretty good. It still felt like it was in the 60s. So Gary had 62 on crab 8 days ago.
Yeah, we need to have like a crappie competition up here at the house.
Yeah, you got some big ones, don't you?
Yeah, that way we can just get them out of there. We'll just fry them up one night on a live stream or something. Of course, there'd be a lot of people. Oh man, don't throw that on Facebook. You'd never hear the end of it.
You just have to block the road.
Yeah.
Tom said first cast on that school, and it sounded like someone dropped the whole toilet bowl in the water. Had it on for a few seconds. Yep, I know that sound, man.
Yeah,
Steve
Jake, 80 pyramid. Yeah, they're dropping quick.
What lake did you fish today, Jay? Curious. So, power plant cooling lakes. Yep. Egypt comes to mind. Egypt's been fishing pretty tough. I haven't been over there in a while, but I know based on some of the tournament results, kind of actually this weekend it picked up a little bit. I think it took a little over 12 pounds to win over there. So that's going to be 4 fish over 16. They do a 4 fish limit over there. They might throw 1 under in there. I'm not sure, but I think it's 4 in the English choice. And the weights were up a little bit, but 2 weeks ago it took like 9 something to win over there. The first, second, third was like mid 9s.
Yeah.
So really tough.
Yeah, he said it was tough there.
Yup. So it's maybe it's starting to come on. I mean, that lake gets so much pressure. I don't know. They're all getting a lot of pressure this year, but I think that one consistently gets pressure because of it's a power plant like you said, and it gets it all winter long. The other lakes get a rest. Lakes get ice on them. They get some rest. People start getting in the woods. So those lakes will get rest, but Egypt just seems to draw people all winter long, and those fish just never get a break. So I'm curious to see what happens this year because they're shutting down the power plant, or the power plant's already like 2 of the lines are offline, and then they've got 1 still going from what I've heard. So it's going to still have some warm water going in and out of the lake. Hopefully it'll be enough to keep it open, but the temperatures are going to drop down a lot more than what those fish are used to. Typically you go over there, even on a really cold week, a week of cold weather, the water temps will still be up in the high 40s. And sometimes there's times when you can go over there in like December and January and catch topwater fish. It's pretty wild. But I don't think that's going to be happening this year. I think there's going to be a big swing in the temperature. But hopefully it stays open. So Jay said he fished green wing. Awesome, man. Fish for walleyes. Did you catch any? I fished that one time, and I had a walleye follow my chatterbait up to the boat. He looked like he was about 14 inches or so. So DJ says, at the Ozarks when my buddy takes a leak and thinks he's hidden by a dock, I stomp on the trolling motor so he's not hit anymore. That's cold, DJ. Man, I'm not going to fish with you ever.
I think they call that the dick move. Oh, man. It's funny as hell, though.
It's like, hey, Smokey, what you doing back there, Smokey? Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. That's part of what makes fishing fun. A couple buds messing with each other.
Other buddies, they just put like trick coolers in your boat and then fall off of them, stuff like that. So.
Yeah. All right.
You about ready to call it then?
I think so, man. We were going to try to make this about an hour. Greg's got a very, very busy schedule. Yeah. I'm going to go up there and try to finish editing a video and get that knocked out. We're going to Gatlinburg. So I won't be here next Monday. I'll be down in Tennessee. I think I'm taking my fly rod and stuff. So I'll be doing your favorite thing to do, which is fly fish for trout. I hope I can find some water down there. If anybody's down in that area and they want somebody to jump in a boat with them, look me up, because I would definitely.
I have considered it and given it thought of fishing some small flies in my pond.
Yeah.
Just for the bluegill.
Well, you need to go up there to Perry County there and catch some. It's fun, man. Once you get the hang of it, it's kind of fun.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Let's see. Jay said caught 12-inch eye last Sunday. Caught 2 3-pound bass yesterday. That's nice, man. Bass is doing the editing. Yup. It's nonstop, man. It's nonstop, Rich. It's just got to keep going at it.
Yep.
So.
All righty then.
We're gonna get off here.
Yep. Since you won't come up and help me, so.
Yeah, I'll be right up. So I got stuff to take care of here. I gotta do some packing too. Gotta get all that together and tidy up things, and gotta make sure my kids' pet geckos got plenty of mealworms for the weekend that we're gonna be gone. So
yeah, just pour the whole pack in there. It'll be all right. Put some night crawlers in there.
Some crickets. They like crickets too. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So all right, man. We're gonna let you go. If you guys want a shirt, get a hold of me, and got a few videos coming out this week, and enjoy it as always. And we'll do it in 2 weeks. We'll do it again, right? Try to get some guests on here.
Yeah. So all right. See all you guys later then.
All right, Greg. Take care, buddy.
Yep. We'll talk to you.
All right. Later.